It's such a weird thing to want in my tiny house. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Siena and I have cerebral palsy. Last week we talked about all of the modifications that we made to my house to make it a little bit more accessible and usable for me with a disability. This week I wanted to talk about what my ideal living space and environment would look like. Now I'm gonna give you guys a list of things that I've come up with that would be extremely useful if I were to ever put it in a house for myself, like if I was going to build my own house and space. These are the things that I would want it to look like and have inside of it. The first two things on this list are the same from last week. I mean, you'll see overlap, but there are some differences here. The first aspect of this is gonna have to be the fact that I would like a tiny house. This is gonna sound like cringy because it's super it's what everybody's wanting to do right now, but I promise it has some practical value here. So hang with me. I would love to have my own tiny house or close to tiny house. Now I know tiny houses are like 500 square feet or less, which is honestly kind of scary. So I might do like 1,500 square feet. Not much more than a tiny house, honestly. I don't need more space than that. I don't need more space than a tiny house or a mobile home. The less you have to take care of and the less you have to worry about. So within that space, within that 500 to 1,500 square feet, here's what I would like. A ramp. Last week we talked about a ramp. I just had to put it on here because again, practical. Stairs, not so practical. Although, if it was stairs, I would want like a wider tread stair. I have had some stairs that I can use. I would just need a railing, like a decent railing, because there are some not so decent railings. So a railing that's actually usable and like wider steps, not just like your normal 8-inch step. I need a wider one. It just is more comfortable. But in my ideal space, which is what we're talking about, a ramp. The next thing on my list is the shower. Like last week, I would want a shower that has exactly what I have right now because it's the easiest for me to be able to shower in. So we're talking a shower that has 2 handles in it, 2 grab bars inside of it, a bench, 1 grab bar on the outside of the shower if the toilet's close to the shower. If not, then I would need some sort of handle near the shower or near the toilet. Oh, and then also a shower head that's detachable. In terms of the shower, that's like a luxury thing. Like a detachable shower, most people don't need it. It's more of a luxury thing. But in terms of my disability, I found that that's a requirement. I function better by myself if I have a bench and a detachable shower head. Those are necessities. Those are things that make my life easier. The next thing on my list I know is bougie, and I couldn't care less. I'm so excited. If I could have this in my house, oh my god, I'm so excited. A pot filler, guys. Okay, it's bougie, but it's also useful. I can't carry a big pot if there's space, even if there's not space between counter and sink. I can't easily carry or put a full pot of water on the stove if I have to move it from the sink to the stove. Okay, even if it's like a couple inches, it's hard. So to have a pot filler would be incredible. Okay, story time. My uncle's been renovating his house for like 10 years. It's something he's been doing basically my entire life. And he had asked me, when I first saw his kitchen that he did, do I like it? And what do I want to add to it? And I had thought about it, And he made them, because it's a pretty big house, he made the aisles in the kitchen a little bit wider for wheelchairs. Like that, he did that in terms of like accessibility for somebody in a wheelchair. But this is the whole concept of like accessibility. It's not the same for everybody. It's not a universal thing. Everyone with a disability needs different things, and I have a hard time moving in his kitchen because everything is so wide apart. If everything was closer together, it would make it a lot easier to be functional in that kitchen. So I would need like a U-shaped, or like a U-shape and an island, like a small island in the middle, so I could basically touch everything. Have a hallway, obviously, touch everything, be able to move around and touch everything in my vicinity. But he had asked me, like, because his oven is a freestanding oven, and I said I would love a pot filler. That conversation just made me think of like, I really think a pot filler would be a huge benefit for me. And the layout for the kitchen would also be, if I could touch every counter, that's amazing. It's such a weird thing to want in one. But that pot filler, the day I get that is gonna be one of the greatest days. I'm so excited. Pull down cabinets. They have cabinets because I can't reach super high. I can't reach like super high. I'm on like really high shelves, really high cabinets. So I really want to get those cabinets that they basically have inserts that you could take the whole cabinet and move it down, or you have an insert that you open the cabinet and the insert comes out and down. When you're sitting in a chair, those pull-down cabinets are really nice because you can only reach so high in a wheelchair. So to be able to grab it and pull it down and use all the space in your kitchen, like that seems like a simple everyday thing, but it's really a luxury when you can't physically reach all the spaces, you can't use it. So part of your kitchen's being unused. So to have a pull-down cabinet would be amazing because you can use every corner of the space, which is absolutely necessary when you're talking about a small space like that. So pull-down cabinets, also a necessity. Alright, this one is a little weird. This one's a little weird, and I don't know if it's possible. I don't know, but let's talk about it. Stairs. If I have to have stairs in my house, which I don't know. I don't know if I could. There's other ways you could do it. You could do Murphy bed. You could do an elevator bed where it goes up and down. But stairs also create some storage. You could put storage under the stairs. So I don't know if I do end up going with a tiny house, stairs might be the smartest choice. So if I end up with stairs, I was thinking I'm able to reach both sides of the staircase, because in a lot of houses you can't reach both sides of your staircase. If I was able to do that, it would make it a lot easier because I'd have 2 points of contact with the staircase and not one, which is what is so scary to me. Like, I'm only having one hand in my crutch usually to get down the stairs. One hand on railing and one hand on my crutch, which is sometimes scary. So if I was to have 2 points of contact, make the stairs smaller, and have 2 points of contact on both sides, both railings, 2 railings, then maybe, possibly, I could have less opportunity of falling downstairs. Maybe stairs wouldn't be so scary. The last thing on my list that I have for today is storage for my scooter and my wheelchair. Basically like some sort of like shed big enough where I could have like my scooter and my wheelchair in like an enclosed space, basically like a garage if possible, or even like something on my deck like a bench on my deck that's high enough for my wheelchair and my scooter to go into. Because I live in a house that doesn't have a lot of storage to it. Like, we don't have a lot of closet space or like garage. We don't have a garage, so I find it necessary to have a space that I can like put those bigger items when I'm not using them on a daily basis. But I use them often enough that I need to be able to reach for them. But the space is not going to be big enough to have it in my living space. So I do need an external or close to it, like a separate room, sort of external garage-y thing or bench to store those things. It's a necessity because I don't want it to be in my living space. I don't want those things to be taking up space. So that's all of the things that I had on my list for today, of all the things that I would want in my tiny house in the future. This is me manifesting this right now to create a space that just feels like so much like me and is built around me. That would be amazing. Like, that is my literal dream, is to have a space that is like that. My literal dream, where literally every corner is made for me. That idea just makes me so happy. I hope you guys found this interesting. Maybe it helped you a little bit in thinking about your space and what you could do to make it better for you if you are also building a space. But this is, I mean, I'm nowhere near actually building this space for myself, but this is my dream, and this isn't everything, obviously, that I would want in my space, but it's a start. I'm so excited. Like, I have thought about this house for years now. So this video will serve sort of as the diary of the beginning of the process, I guess. I will definitely bring you guys along. If you have any questions, comments, want to see more, please let me know. With that, I will say goodbye, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.